This is not a drill. What I'm about to share with you will shock you, move you, and wake you up like never before. If you're watching this right now, it's not by coincidence. God has led you here, and He's sending you a very urgent message. You are in big trouble, and it's not the kind of trouble you can ignore. What's coming will test you in ways you never imagined, and you need to be prepared. Now listen, real close, because this is not just some video. This is your call. This is the sound of purpose knocking at your door. And it's not asking politely. It's banging, it's breaking in, because heaven has waited long enough for you to wake up. You're not watching this at random. You've been placed here. Yes, you are not lost, you're not forgotten. You didn't stumble on this message, you were positioned, timed, delivered. Every setback, every heartbreak, every tear, every delay. It was all part of something bigger than you realized. See, you thought you were being rejected, but God was rerouting you. You thought life was falling apart, but God was reconstructing it in a way that only He could. You didn't miss your moment. You are the moment. I want you to breathe that in. You're not late. You're right on time. Because the Creator of the universe never makes a mistake. He doesn't hit send by accident. He doesn't misplace souls. He plants them. And you've been planted, not buried. The difference: one dies, the other grows. Right now you're growing. You're breaking through dirt and darkness, pain and pressure, lies and confusion. But that's what growth feels like. It's not pretty. It's not always peaceful. It's pressure. It's sacrifice. It's pruning. It's silence. Sometimes it feels like God forgot you, but really He was preparing the room before He brought you in. This is the part where the enemy wants you to quit. This is the moment he whispers, "It's not working. Give up." But that's because he knows what you're stepping into. You're not just anybody. You're chosen. You've been set apart since before you were formed in your mother's womb. And no devil, no doubt, no delay can cancel what heaven declared over you. So don't let your current pain cancel your coming promise. What's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you, but only if you wake up and rise to meet it. Don't scroll past this. Don't tune it out. Your spirit is being stirred right now because this message carries the sound of truth and your soul recognizes it. Yes, you were discouraged. Yes, life got heavy. But God hasn't changed His mind about you. The call is still alive. The purpose is still breathing. You are not behind. You're right on schedule. You were placed here for this message at this hour because something massive is shifting. The heavens are opening. Doors are unlocking. Miracles are being prepared in the dark. But you've got to stay ready. You've got to hold your position. Because this moment is not the end. This moment is the confirmation. And if you hear me right now, don't you dare quit. Don't you dare second-guess yourself. God is not finished. He's just getting started. Because you're not lost. You've been placed. Right here, right now. And for the first chosen one watching this, you know who you are. You feel it in your chest. You feel your heart racing. That's not adrenaline. That's the Spirit shaking you awake. The call has come. The light has broken through the clouds. You've been found. And this is only the beginning. Before we continue, take a moment to pause this video and do these 3 things. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, help us reach 1,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 77. This powerful number will send a deep signal into the universe and align your spiritual energy with God's purpose. Now let's go deeper. Because what I'm about to say is not going to sit easy on your chest, but it will change your life forever if you let it. The storm around you is not random. It's not punishment. It's not chaos. It's a signal, a divine signal. That storm you're standing in right now, that pain, that confusion, that pressure, is the sound of transformation. It's the sound of heaven clearing a path. God never sends a storm unless it's time to move something or someone. And guess what? That someone is you. You keep asking, why me? But the better question is, why not you? Because there's something inside of you that's stronger than the storm. That storm wasn't sent to break you. It was sent to build you, to shake loose what can't stay, so God can plant what must grow. Sometimes God will allow the wind to howl and the waves to crash, just to remind you who really commands the sea. You've been trusting in your own strength, your own plan, your own timing, but now the storm has arrived, and it's demanding your surrender. The world taught you to fear storms, but the kingdom teaches you to walk through them. You don't run from the wind, you face it, because it's pushing you somewhere higher, somewhere deeper, somewhere sacred. Let me tell you something true. Comfort is not your calling. Safety is not your destiny. You were made for the front lines of faith, not the sidelines of fear. And sometimes, God sends a storm to expose that. He knows if He doesn't stir the waters, you'll never leave the shore. He knows if He doesn't shake your plans, you'll never discover His. So if you're surrounded right now, if you feel like life is crashing in from every side, know this. The storm is the signal. The battle is the broadcast. It's heaven shouting, "Get ready." It's God saying, "I'm about to shift you. Prepare your heart, the time is near." Do you think Joseph made it to the palace without the pit? Do you think Moses led without first getting lost? Do you think Jesus walked to the cross in silence? No, storms came, winds blew, and the people God used the most were the ones who didn't run when it got loud. They listened, they moved, they trusted. So don't despise your storm. Listen to it, lean into it. The thunder isn't chasing you, it's cheering for you. The lightning isn't warning you, it's revealing what's inside of you. Power, purpose, fire. And don't you dare let fear make you sit this one out. The eye of the storm is where the chosen stand. Not hiding, not trembling, but rising. You are being tested because you are trusted. This level of pressure only shows up when heaven is near. And heaven is so close right now. If you've been praying for a sign, this is it. This moment is your confirmation. This message is your turning point. Don't waste it. Because storms don't come to destroy the chosen, they come to announce them. And now it's your turn. What you've been praying for is already in motion. You just haven't seen it with your eyes yet, but your spirit can feel it. That's why you've been restless. That's why the old ways aren't working anymore. That's why your spirit's been stirred at night and your heart's been heavy during the day. Something is shifting. Something is coming. And it's not a fantasy. It's real. It's already unfolding in the unseen. But here's the part most people miss. When God begins to move, He doesn't start with delivery. He starts with wait. See, when you pray for a blessing, when you cry out for purpose, when you ask for something big, you've got to understand what you're asking for. You're not just asking for a gift. You're asking for responsibility. You're not just asking for favor. You're asking for fire, and fire doesn't play. Fire burns off the things that can't carry the promise. Fire exposes what's weak so what's strong can rise. That's why things have been uncomfortable. That's why you've had to let go of people. That's why you feel isolated. It's not punishment, it's preparation. You see, before the blessing is handed over, God makes sure you can hold it. He doesn't want you to be crushed by what you prayed for. Because power in the wrong hands becomes poison. And you don't want to be famous before you're faithful. You don't want the spotlight if your character can't carry the weight behind it. You've been asking for healing, for restoration, for purpose, for a breakthrough. And God said yes, not maybe, not later. He said yes. But with that, yes comes weight. The weight of maturity, the weight of discernment, the weight of obedience. That's why things seem harder lately. You're not being blocked, you're being built. You're being expanded so the blessing won't break you when it lands. You're being called to rise, to think higher, to speak differently, to move with discipline. Because what's coming to you requires a version of you that's not distracted, not desperate, not defeated. It requires strength. You prayed for elevation, but you didn't know that elevation comes with pressure. You prayed for love, but didn't realize true love reveals your wounds. You asked for more, but more will expose what's still small inside of you. God is not giving you leftovers. He's preparing a table, and a table needs legs strong enough to stand. And listen to me. Just because it hasn't arrived yet doesn't mean it's not coming. Delayed is not denied. God is a God of timing, not just answers. He moves in seasons, not seconds. And right now your season is shifting. Don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. Don't talk yourself out of the promise just because it didn't show up on your schedule. His timing is perfect, and the fact that you're even watching this right now is a sign. You're in it. It's already moving. The phone call, the opportunity, the healing, the open door, the clarity, it's all lining up, but it will land suddenly, like rain on dry ground. You won't have time to prepare once it shows up. That's why the preparation is happening now. You are not waiting on the blessing. The blessing is waiting on you. And when it comes, it will not ask permission. It will not wait for your comfort. It will knock once. You either open or you miss it. So stay alert, stay humble, stay ready. Because what's coming to you is not a maybe, it's a must. God is not looking for the perfect. He's calling the prepared. That's a truth most people don't want to hear, but it's the truth that separates those who are called from those who answer the call. You keep thinking you've got to fix everything, clean everything, get your life spotless before God can use you. But let me tell you something raw and honest. If God needed perfection, He wouldn't call humans. He's not calling the flawless, He's calling the willing. He's not searching for those with a perfect track record. He's looking for hearts that still beat with courage, hands that still rise in surrender, and knees that still bend in reverence. That's what God uses. That's what moves heaven, not image, not polish, not performance, preparation. See, we live in a world addicted to appearance. Social media got people believing that calling looks like a curated highlight reel, all clean, all smooth. But calling, real calling, is messy. It's painful, it's inconvenient. It costs you sleep, it costs you friends, it costs you comfort. And it never fits inside a filter. You've been looking at yourself through your flaws. You've been counting yourself out because of your past, because of your mistakes, because of what they said about you. But let me tell you something. Moses stuttered. David committed adultery. Peter denied. Paul persecuted. Mary was a teenage girl. None of them were perfect, but they were prepared. And because they were prepared, God poured purpose into their weakness and turned their brokenness into history. So what does preparation look like? It's not about having a degree or a title or a name. Preparation looks like obedience. It looks like waking up and saying, "Here I am, Lord." It looks like doing the small things with excellence, serving when no one's watching, praying when it's quiet, staying faithful when it's boring. Preparation happens in the dark, in the hidden, in the silence. Far away from applause, far away from recognition. Because if you can't be trusted in private, you can't be trusted in power. You want the stage but haven't mastered stillness. You want the influence but haven't learned integrity. You want the oil but don't want the crushing. But you can't skip the process. You can't shortcut the journey. Every great thing God does in your life will be preceded by a season of shaping. And shaping hurts. Shaping breaks your pride. Shaping strips your ego. But shaping gets you ready for the weight of destiny. That's why God is calling you now. Not because you're flawless, but because you're available. That's all He needs. A heart that says yes, a soul that won't run from the fire, a mind that's ready to be renewed. That's what He's after. And if you can give Him that, you're more ready than you think. So stop trying to be perfect. Stop waiting to be worthy. You're already chosen. You've already been seen. Heaven has already stamped your name on the mission. All that's left is your obedience. Because the truth is, God qualifies who He calls, but He also tests who He trusts. And this season you're in, it's not to break you, it's to build your endurance, it's your training ground. And when the time comes, when your name is called, when the doors open, you won't be surprised. You'll be ready, because God is not calling the perfect, He's calling you. Delay is not denial. You need to hear that again. Delay is not denial. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not coming. Just because you haven't seen the results, just because the door hasn't opened, doesn't mean God said no. Sometimes the pause is divine. Sometimes the waiting is not punishment, it's protection. God isn't just interested in giving you what you ask for. He's interested in who you become before it arrives. Because the truth is, some blessings come with weight, and if you're not ready to carry it, it could break you instead of bless you. So when things are delayed, it's not because you're forgotten, it's because you're being formed. You might not see it now, but heaven's timing is perfect, always. You're living in a world of seconds, but God moves in seasons. You want things now, but He wants things to last. That's why He takes His time. That's why He hides the miracle behind the process. Because what's built too fast can fall too fast, and you weren't made to fall, you were made to stand. So when God makes you wait, it's not rejection, it's refinement. It's the master sculptor shaping the details before the world sees the masterpiece. That's what you are, a masterpiece in progress. And no, it doesn't always feel good. The waiting season can feel like a wilderness. Dry, lonely, confusing. You look around and see people passing you, getting blessed, doors flying open for everyone but you. And you wonder, God, did you forget about me? But let me be real with you, He hasn't. In fact, it's the opposite. The waiting is proof that He's working on something special for you. And you can't rush special. You don't microwave diamonds. You don't speed through glory. You prepare for it. You become it. God is doing more in the delay than you realize. He's exposing what doesn't belong in your future. He's cutting ties with things that can't go with you to the next level. He's stretching your faith, growing your character, teaching you how to trust Him, not just for a moment, but for a lifetime. Some of your greatest breakthroughs will not come when you get what you want, but when you trust God when you don't. When you say, even if I can't see it, I believe you're still good. Even if I don't feel it, I trust you're still working. That's when heaven leans in. That's when faith turns into fire. That's when delays become divine turning points. Because in the waiting, God is preparing you for more than you prayed for. You ask for one thing, but God's getting ready to give you something bigger. That relationship you cried over, He's replacing it with real love. That opportunity you missed, He's preparing a door 10 times wider. That silence you feared, He's filling it with strategy, clarity, and purpose. Don't misread your season. Just because the page is quiet doesn't mean the story's over. God is still writing, still refining, still planning the perfect moment to release what's already yours. You just need to be faithful long enough to see it happen. So when it feels like you're being delayed, don't lose heart. Don't give up. Don't settle. Don't downgrade your destiny to fit your timeline. God's not late. He's lining things up. And when it comes, it'll happen so fast you won't even remember what the wait felt like. Because what's delayed is not denied. It's design. You've been chosen. Not accidentally, not randomly. Not as a backup plan. You were chosen before time began. That's not a metaphor. That's a spiritual reality. And you need to stop treating yourself like a maybe when heaven already declared you a yes. You were chosen to carry something this world has never seen before. A fire, a calling, a divine assignment stamped with your name, and nobody can do it like you. But here's the truth. Being chosen is not glamorous. It's not soft. It doesn't always come with applause. In fact, it usually comes with isolation, pressure, and pain. Because being chosen means being different. Being chosen means you walk a path most people don't understand. You feel things deeper. You carry burdens heavier. You see the world through a lens that doesn't make sense to everyone else. People around you may question you. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're too intense, too spiritual, too serious. Let them talk, because they weren't there when God whispered to your spirit in the dark. They didn't feel what you felt. They didn't cry the tears you cried. They didn't carry the weight you carry. You're chosen, and with that comes a cost. You can't do what everybody else does. You can't move like them. You can't think like them. You can't settle like them. Because God set you apart, He marked you. And with that mark comes responsibility. See, being chosen isn't about being above anyone. It's about being accountable to something greater. You're not called to be better. You're called to be faithful. And that faithfulness will demand sacrifice. The chosen don't chase crowds, they chase truth. The chosen don't blend in, they stand out. And sometimes that will feel like loneliness. But it's not loneliness, it's alignment. God is pulling you out of the noise so you can hear Him clearly. He's stripping away distractions, breaking habits, removing attachments. Not to punish you, but to position you. Because when he sends you, you can't be tangled up in things that won't survive the journey. The enemy knows you're chosen too. That's why the attacks have been relentless. That's why the pressure's been high. That's why you've been hit from all sides. Because the enemy doesn't waste time on people who pose no threat. The attack is proof of your assignment. And even though it feels like you're being crushed, you're not being destroyed. You're being prepared. You see, chosen people walk with fire. Not the fire that burns them out, the fire that fuels them. The fire of purpose, the fire of clarity, the fire of divine direction. And that fire will scare people. It'll confuse people, but it will also change people. Because when you move in your calling, heaven moves through you. You become a vessel, a lighthouse in the dark, a voice in the silence, a signpost to the broken saying, there's still hope. God is still real. He still chooses people. So don't downplay your calling. Don't water down your fire to make others comfortable. Don't hide your oil just because others don't understand the cost. You were chosen for this moment, for this generation, for this fight. Walk in it, own it, burn with it. Because when God chooses someone, he doesn't change his mind.